At the beginning of this story, we are shown a man in the desert who has just landed down with a parachute. Actually, he is a British intelligence officer named Max. The place where he has landed is a desert area in French Morocco. Max has come here to kill a German ambassador. Suddenly, he sees a car approaching him from a distance across the desert, which makes him alert. But when the car stops near him, he realizes that the man inside the car has come to pick him up. Max gets inside the car, and then he notices a suitcase kept on the back seat. Inside that suitcase, there are some fake documents, clothes, weapons, and money. After this, the car driver gives Max a ring and tells him that his wife will be wearing a purple-colored dress. Along with that, he also gives him a clue by saying the word hummingbird. Max puts that ring on his finger. Here we get to know that Max is not alone on this mission. There is also a woman working with him. After this, the car finally stops when it reaches the city. The driver gives Max the keys to another car and leaves. Max dresses up in a suit and goes to a hotel, where several German officers are seen enjoying the evening. Suddenly, Max's eyes go toward the chair with a hummingbird design where a woman wearing a purple-colored dress is sitting. As soon as she turns around and sees Max, she runs toward him and hugs him. She introduces Max to her German friends and tells them that Max is her husband, who works for a mining company in Paris. But in reality, all of this is part of their mission so that no one suspects them. Now, Marion comes with Max to the apartment where she had already been staying. She tells him that the party the German ambassador is going to attend will be held in 10 days. I'll arrange an invitation for you to attend that party, she says, and after that, you'll have to take care of the rest of the job. As the night gets late, Max says he would prefer to sleep on the sofa, but Marion tells him that he should go sleep on the roof because, in Casablanca, husbands usually go to sleep on the roof after spending a nice evening with their wives so that no one suspects them. Max then goes to sleep on the rooftop. After a while, Marion comes up with a lantern and tells him that their neighbors are keeping an eye on them right now. If I hadn't come up here, they would have started suspecting us, she says. The two talk for a long time before Marion goes back downstairs. The next morning, both of them get ready and go to a restaurant for coffee. Suddenly, Max notices a German officer sitting behind them who seems to have become suspicious of them. When that officer goes inside to inform someone, Max follows him. Before the officer can alert others, Max strangles him to death and stuffs food into his throat, so that it appears the officer died by choking on food instead of being murdered. Later that evening, while they are both sitting on the roof, Max asks Marion about her London mission. She tells him that she didn't receive any support from the V-section during that mission, and she had to escape to save her life. The next morning, both of them go to the German embassy. Marion arranges a meeting between Max and the German ambassador. The ambassador already knows quite a lot about Max. He challenges Max, saying, "If you can defeat me in a poker game, you can come to tomorrow's party." The ambassador himself is fond of playing poker. They play the game, and Max wins. The German ambassador, impressed, invites him to the party. However, one of the German officers doesn't quite believe that Max really works in the phosphate mining business. To verify it, he asks Max to write down the chemical formula of phosphate. But Max has come fully prepared. He knows the formula. Afterward, they return to the apartment and begin preparing for the trap. By now, both of them have started to develop feelings for each other. Only one day is left before their mission is to be carried out. But Marion is very tense because she knows that if anything goes wrong, they will both be killed. So, the two decide to spend some happy moments together. They drive into the desert to watch the sunrise. Suddenly, a sandstorm hits, and they rush back into the car. That evening, both of them attend the party fully prepared. The place is filled with high-ranking German officers, while everyone is waiting for the ambassador to arrive. Max and Marion go stand near the table where their weapons are hidden underneath. Right on time, the ambassador enters and begins his speech. Suddenly, a loud explosion is heard outside the building. Everyone panics, and in that moment, Max and Marion pull out their guns from under the table and shoot the ambassador dead on the spot. They also kill the other German soldiers inside the building and manage to escape. Their mission turns out to be a success. Max proposes to Marion and asks her to come with him to London. Before the story continues, there's an important announcement. If you enjoy survival and horror movies, subscribe to our second channel, where we upload horror and survival films. So please go and subscribe quickly. The link is in the description below. After this 3 weeks pass, we see Max returning to his office after completing the mission. His senior officer, Frank, grants permission for Marion to come to England. But as a friend, Frank gives him some advice. He says, "You're being foolish, Max. Relationships formed during missions never work in real life." But Max ignores his words and leaves. Soon, Marion and Max get married, and shortly afterward, Max learns that Marion is pregnant. Months later, Marion is taken to the hospital due to labor pains. But suddenly, the city is attacked, and the entire hospital is destroyed. The doctors are forced to perform the delivery on the street itself, and Marion gives birth to a baby girl. A year passes, and their married life is going very well. However, Max remains very busy with his work. One day, Marion organizes a party at their house and invites all their friends and acquaintances. But during the party, Max receives a call from British intelligence. He's told that the V section wants to talk to him. Max goes to headquarters, where he's informed that his wife is a German agent. At first, Max laughs, thinking it's a joke. The officer explains that for the last 7 days, they've been receiving coded messages transmitted from London to Berlin through a WT transcriber. Those messages contain highly confidential information, and the address from which the signals were sent was his house. Max refuses to believe any of this. Then the officer shows him some documents and explains that the real Marion, who was sent on the Paris mission, had been arrested and executed in 1941, along with her circuit. After that, the Germans gave Marion's identity to one of their spies, who had similar facial features. That woman later reached Casablanca, where nobody knew her real identity. The German ambassador that Max and Marion had killed was also someone Hitler wanted dead. Still, Max refuses to believe the officer. He keeps repeating, "My wife is not a German spy." Then, the officer gives Max a new mission and says, "Tonight, at exactly 11:07, you'll receive a phone call. The message you'll hear, you must write it down somewhere your wife can easily read it. However, that message will contain false information. You have to pretend it's real and secret. If your wife tries to forward this message, our agents will detect it by noon. If this fake message appears among the transmitted ones, we'll know the truth. If your wife turns out to be a German spy, you will personally execute her. And if you fail to do so, you'll be declared a traitor and hanged." Max leaves the office with visible tension on his face. When he returns home, his behavior is noticeably different. Marion senses that something is wrong. That night, at exactly 11:07, the phone rings. Max receives the message, writes it down on a piece of paper, and leaves it on the table before going to sleep. The next morning, Max puts on his uniform and leaves home not for the office, but for a church. There, he meets a retired officer named Guy, who had met Marion in 1941 and had helped her escape from France. Max shows him Marion's photograph. But Guy's eyes were damaged by the Germans, leaving him blind. So, he can't confirm her identity. Before leaving, though, Guy tells Max to find an agent named Paul, who might be able to confirm who Marion really is. Max then goes to the runway and meets a pilot. He writes a note on the back of Marion's photograph and gives it to the pilot, saying, "Give this to Paul, and tell him I only need a yes or no as an answer." Later, Max returns home, where Marion has organized another party. Everyone is enjoying themselves. Max's friend Frank is also there, and tells him that the pilot he sent to meet Paul was killed. Suddenly, Max notices Marion talking privately to a strange man. When that man sees Max approaching, he leaves. Max follows him, stops him, and questions him. The man says he's a jewelry shopkeeper who is trying to sell a necklace to Marion. Just then, air raid sirens go off. Germans have attacked East London. The lights go out and people rush for cover. A German fighter plane crashes near Max's house, and his family narrowly escapes death. Marion says, "Tomorrow." Let's forget about this war and spend the entire day talking and making memories with Anna. Max agrees, and they spend a beautiful day together, but Max's doubt still remains unresolved. He needs to prove his wife's innocence. That night, he puts on his uniform again, takes Marion's photograph, and leaves without telling her. He goes to the runway, preparing to fly out himself. He wants to meet the man who can confirm his wife's true identity. When he reaches the location, he meets some people and asks them about Paul. They tell him Paul is in jail. Arrested by the local police for being drunk, determined to see Paul, Max goes to the police station with his comrades, holds a guard at gunpoint, and forces his way in to meet Paul. Paul is lying there completely drunk. Max shows him Marion's picture and asks, "Is this the same Marion you knew?" Paul, barely conscious, confirms, "Yes, she's the one. The first time I met her, we were at a cafe full of Germans. There was a piano in that cafe, and right in front of those Germans, she started playing the French national anthem." Hearing this, Max gets scared because he's never seen Marion play the piano. Before he can ask any more questions, some Germans arrive. Max and his men start shooting and flee. When the Germans chase them, Max blows up their armored vehicle with a grenade and kills the wounded soldiers. The next morning, Marion wakes up and finds Max sitting in front of her, looking extremely serious. She can tell something is wrong. Max takes her to a nearby cafe and says, "I want you to play the piano for me. Play the same anthem you played in that cafe back in 1941. Hearing this, Marion's hands start trembling because she doesn't know how to play the piano. She finally confesses the truth that she's not the real Marion, but a German agent. She explains that when she met Max in Casablanca, she truly fell in love with him. After the mission ended, she broke all ties with the Germans and came to London with Max. But the Germans found her again and began threatening to kill Anna. I always feared. She says that if the truth came out, Max would never forgive me, and it would destroy our daughter's life. The Germans used that fear against me." Then Max asks, "Did you send that message?" Marion says yes, and adds, "We have to escape now. Otherwise, the Visection will order you to kill me. If you refuse, they'll kill both of us." She insists they must first save Anna. After that, Marion reveals the identities of all the German spies involved, and Max shoots each of them one by one. Then he, Marion, and their daughter Anna reach the airport, planning to escape. But when Max tries to start the aircraft, it fails to start due to a technical issue. Marion sees several cars approaching them and realizes they won't be able to get away. Just then, Max's senior officer and friend, Frank, arrives, blocks the plane with his car, and says, "It's over. Max, you better surrender." Max explains that he's killed all the German agents and pleads that Marion is innocent. She was framed. But Frank refuses to believe him and keeps repeating, Marion is a German spy. At that moment, Marion lays Anna down in the car and walks toward Max. She says, "I have always loved you. Take care of our daughter." Then she takes Max's gun and shoots herself. Max is completely shattered. He knows Marion was innocent, that everything she did was only to protect their daughter. Frank orders the other officers to stop and says, "In the report, write that Max himself executed the enemy spy." It is then shown that before dying, Marion had written a letter for her daughter, Anna. She knew she would not survive. So she wrote, "Dear Anna, if you're reading this letter, it means you don't know me and you have no memories of me. I am your mother. Max is my love, and you are my world. I hope someday you will forgive me." Years later, we see Max, who has left everything behind and moved to Medicine Hat, where he begins a new life with his daughter Anna. With this scene, the movie and this story comes to an end. Which movie's story do you want to hear next? Tell me in the comments below, because I always read your lovely comments. And thank you so much for all your support and kind words.